She told the principal, "What's the big deal if they're using the knives? Isn't that why we have Band-Aids?" Today I want to talk to you about some wisdom that I learned from an elderly Japanese stranger. Give knives to kindergarten kids. Welcome back to Capo TV, the channel where we know school is a joke and you don't want to be the punchline. If this is your first time here on Capo TV and you also think school is a joke, you can help spread the message by hitting that subscribe button. Well, I went to a Goodwill on a Sunday, and so did an elderly Japanese man. I'm going to share with you the best piece of wisdom that I learned from my they were long, my long conversations with this Japanese man. And he had stories. His best story, the one that stuck with me the most and the one that has the most value, I think, for you and for me and for anyone else that wants to listen to this, was the one about the time kindergartners got to play with chef knives in school. The story was that one of his colleagues was a kindergartner teacher for a short time, and she had the idea of teaching the kids how to cook. Typically, people don't let their 5-year-olds play with knives like this. Well, this teacher did, and she taught them how to properly hold a knife. I don't even know. Is this the proper way to hold a knife? I don't even know. But these 5-year-olds did, and they were cutting their carrots and cutting their broccoli and cutting their other vegetables and whatever else up and putting it in their little soup, stirring it all up and serving it to their little friends. And no one thought anything of it in the classroom. The kids were just happy to be doing something. Well, one day a principal came into the room to do a little observation, and she was horrified that the kids were there chopping things up with these knives. She immediately scheduled a meeting with this kindergarten teacher and expressed her concerns for the safety of the children in the classroom. Do you know what this teacher's response was? No, you don't, because I'm telling the story. She told the principal, "What's the big deal if they're using the knives? Isn't that why we have Band-Aids?" That is the life lesson right there. That is something that I'm trying to live by every day. Her point was, if a mistake was made, it's not the end of the world. You can just put a Band-Aid on it and move on. Now, of course, a Band-Aid isn't going to solve anything if a kid gets stabbed through the chest with a knife, but that's beyond the scope of this moral. The moral of the story that this elderly Japanese man told me, and of course it was a second-hand story, now it's a third-hand story because I'm telling it to you, is that don't be afraid to try new things, don't be afraid to make mistakes, and don't be afraid to put a Band-Aid on it and move on if it doesn't work out. Life is about taking smart risks and making mistakes and learning from them. I don't think anyone should be reckless and just take all their money to Las Vegas and bet it all on black. That would be stupid. There's no Band-Aid that's going to fix that. But if you've got an idea in your head and there's something that you want to try out, something that you think will benefit you and benefit others, give it a try. What's the worst that could happen? You get a little cut, you put a Band-Aid on it, and you move on. That is the wisdom of a 76-year-old Japanese man. And there were so many other things that he talked about, and to be honest, I forget maybe half of them because he did talk for a long time. But this one idea of giving knives to kindergartners can be used in your daily life for the rest of time. If you've ever gotten words of wisdom from an elderly Japanese man, or any elder in general, leave a comment down below. Let us know. What did you learn? And if you're not subscribed to Capo TV, hit that subscribe button now. You can help spread the message that school is a joke. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.